Hello, hello, wonderful humans. I'm going to switch over to my fancy mic because I listened to the recording the other day of can you hear me? Hopefully. There we go. But I know that the other day the recording was not great. So I'm so excited to do the FAQ for the mastermind. I'm so glad to see you guys. Hello, Missy. Hello. Like Sharon's coming. So I have the questions for the mastermind. I was like, I have like commonly asked questions, and feel free to jump in with your questions as well if you have any other ideas. Otherwise, I will go ahead and read them off, and you can just go ahead and put them in the chat if you've got questions. So unless you want to unmute and ask your question, that is perfect for me. So first things first, when we are thinking about the six-figure systems mastermind, one of the biggest questions that I've been getting is like, what is the result at the end of these 6 months? What is actually going to be different about my business after I've done the mastermind? Now, this round ends at the end of May. So by June, the things that I guarantee that you'll know how to do is you're going to be able to master marketing is the first thing. I want to make sure that anyone that does this program, you are going to know how to content calendar, content batch in, I say 6 hours a month. So it's a very minimal part of your week. So you can take less time on the marketing side of things and get back to actually helping your people. The second thing that I guarantee that you'll know by the end of the program is how to generate more leads. Now, leads are it's just a fancy word for bringing more people into your program or your offer, bringing more people to work with you. So that was another question I got. So I'll get to that. But within the mastermind, you're going to be able to generate leads. You're going to be able to build a bigger audience, and you're also going to nurture that audience so that whenever you're ready to sell something, whatever your business offers, you've got a bunch of people that are ready to buy. The third thing that you get within this lovely mastermind is you are going to be able to sell people at a way that converts at a way higher level. So a lot of sales processes are pretty general, might even have scripts and things like this. Within the six-figure systems mastermind, you get a sales blueprint that is customized based on your offer. So when the very first call that you do in six-figure systems is learning how to craft a profitable offer, and you will sell based on the pillars that you make for that profitable offer. And then the last thing is you're going to be able to plan for growth. So you're going to be able to plan like a CEO. I say it's like creating CEO scheduling and operations, knowing which metrics to be tracking. It's going to be planning your week in a way that you're just going to be focused on really simple, high return on your investment activities, so you don't waste time on other things. So that was the first question I got. And I want you to think about like 6 months from now, if those things would benefit your business, this would be a great thing for you guys to do. And I will include the link to, if you wanted to sign up for the program. People actually have been messaging me on Instagram and just wanted to pay. So that I'm going to send you the link just to like sign up. Otherwise, we can also do a 30-minute consult tomorrow, or I've opened up consults this weekend. So I'm not seeing anything in the chat from you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and read some of the questions that I've gotten so far. So the other big question that I've gotten, I was like, I had these all pulled up, and I was like, I just exited out of them. I was like,
I have one if you want.
yes, Missy, that would be great, because I literally just like clicked, technology has not been my friend today. I was like, and I realized that the whatever is going on with the hand motions, I keep seeing stuff pop up. So I might have balloons come up as you ask your questions. So let's be ready.
I'm ready for it. That sounds fun. My question is, what do you think are the most common challenges that participants tend to have throughout the mastermind?
my God, that's such a good question. So, within the mastermind, I feel like the biggest challenge that people face is not getting, like, being prepared to have some time where you're going to be implementing the system, just like not expecting it to be like, okay, instantly I'm going to spend an hour on marketing. It might take 2 or 3 weeks for you to get that to happen. But I do think that so far, everyone who's joined there, so there are 2 rounds of the mastermind. There's one that's from 10 to 12 on Tuesdays, that's at Eastern time. And then the other round, the one that's happening right now, that's going to be from 1 to 3 Eastern, on same day on Tuesdays. And one of the things that I've seen is that everyone who's in this round currently, all 10 of them, have been able to implement it, and we're 2 months in as of Tuesday. So like they're all now like ready, but I think that first session they were like, "Oh my God." They're like, I feel like it's going to be hard and overwhelming. And then I actually had someone tell me that they batched in 35 minutes today, and they're 4 weeks in. So I'm like, it really is just like knowing that it's not going to be instant, that you will like you will leave the call and you're instantly going to be batching in like 10 minutes, but just having that patience to be like, okay, what would have taken me 8 hours is now going to take me maybe 7 hours, 6 hours. And the reason why the program is 6 months is you can get those reps in, get the routines created, and then just be ready to roll. But such a good question. I would say that's the biggest challenge.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Do you have any more questions?
Oh, probably. Let's think.
Yeah. I was like, I literally have a list of 12 here. So I'm like, fe- feel free to like
I have,
pause. Yeah.
okay, I do have one more and then
Yeah.
I'll let you tackle your list.
Absolutely.
Um, do you, and I think I remember you saying this, but I don't recall. Are there particular, do I remember you saying that you share templates for either emails or like copy in general?
Oh, yeah. So I'm gonna go I actually was gonna I was planning on doing this, so I'm gonna show my screen and I'll show you within the mastermind the kind of things that you would get. So this is the current round of the mastermind. This is the 10 to 12 group. This is the one from 1 to 3. And within each module, what happens is I actually teach you live. So you never have to like do any learning outside of the program. And I found that as an educator, like so I was like in a former life, I taught for years, and I'm like even nationally board certified. And one of the things that I found is that the adult education pieces in most coaching programs don't always have they don't, they're not made by teachers, and that is totally fine. However, I know that when I'm working with somebody, I want them to get the content with me so they can ask questions in real time. So each module is here, and you can see they're going to be scheduled out as we go. And each module has a different template. It's either going to be something that is like a blank template, or they're within the webinars module. I actually give you the emails that I write before I send one during and then after a webinar. So you can literally copy and paste exactly what I do and use it for you. So the way that looks is in the first session on Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, the 5th, what we're going to do is I'll start with this setup system, and then we'll go through and I will show you the slides for the welcome module, which shows you exactly how to organize your Google Drive. And you'll have all these folders ready so that each round or each week you'll be able to save the documents to your folder. Then we are going to go through and we'll talk about thought work. But when you were talking about like templates and things like this, each week you're going to have different templates for different components that I will explain in depth. But because this is a coaching program, I also want to show you how to do thought work. So I'll teach you my way that I do thought work, and then you'll save this to your drive. So each client will make their own Google folder. And in the session, not outside of the session, within the session, I actually am like, okay, everybody, go to your Google Drive you're going to have a six-figure systems folder. And I'm like, okay, you've got a folder for your mindset and your offer. You're going to move it and then you'll be done. And then and you can rename it for you, but that is what we do every single week. Um, Along with that, and like, don't get overwhelmed. Like another thing, like with the overwhelm being like the biggest challenge, each week there will be things like thought work that are like encouraged, but like you don't have to do them. With the offer, you make this once on our one-on-one welcome call with me. You'll be able to make the pillars for your program. This is something that like literally even just like fellow coach peers like that I'm in other masterminds with, this is their favorite thing. And making their offer using the pillars is one of their favorite things. And this is what I would do with you on the one-on-one call. And then I also would do that I would explain how I created that within that first day of the mastermind. So each week there are templates, there are there are a bunch of things that you can use to like help you grow your business. Some are shorter, so just don't worry. I'm like, I know that looks like a lot, but like a lot of them, especially as we go on, projections, all these are a lot shorter. This was the one I was saying has a lot of emails that you can literally just copy and paste yourself. Along with that, anyone that signs up now, they actually get access to the annual plan webinar because I know it's January's coming up and you can watch a webinar that I did. I think it was I think it was January. So it's like an old video, but this is explained here. It was just something that I did as a webinar that was quick. Um, but yeah, so all the templates, everything like that is here. Now, like if you do Acuity, I was like, let me just explain how to do Acuity. I'm making one on how to do like a P&L sheet, just like things that I was like, this could be useful, but like not necessarily things that you need. Like for instance, six-figure systems is a tax deduction. So I made sure that like if you want to get a tax deduction with six-figure systems, I literally include that here. You can just send it to your accountant. If yours is a tax deduction, if you're like a business expense for somebody, you can make your own W-9 for people. Um, and then also like I have my accountant come on. She came and she was a guest speaker in our first round. And you can see that's Diane. And she's great. And she explained like S cores, all that good stuff. Um, I actually had my website creator come and teach you how to make a website. So there's like a whole document on like literally I paid her 3K for what she taught you in this, which is like pretty helpful. And you can when you were talking about like, do you just copy is there things that you can just copy words from? You could literally take everything from a website and make it into your own. But again, this is just a bonus and with the guest speakers because for me personally, I know you don't necessarily need a website for to build a six-figure business, but it's a fun bonus. How to do chat GPT, that was something that was really helpful. And how to connect and network while not feeling weird was something I had my friend Jewel, who's a friendship and connection coach, come on and talk about. So that is that. And for anyone who joins the mastermind, I wanted to show you that there's a one-on-one aspect. So there's 3 one-on-one calls. There's the beginning, middle, and end of the call, but there's also a stream. So you can ask questions literally 24/7. Whenever you like, if you wake up at 3 in the morning, I say that I'll just get back to you 48 hours later. Um, and I also have progress tracking forms. So each week you can fill out the form. It'll have you ask what week it is, your wins, breakthroughs, how much money you've made. And I've actually changed up the questions a smidge for this upcoming round. However, you also have the opportunity to privately message me at the end of your sheet. So the way it kind of like flows is from 1 to 110, I play music and you fill out your form. From 110 to 150, you would be watching me teach, making templates, asking any questions about how to customize things. making it work for you and your business. And then the second hour, we would be coaching. Now, the mastermind is it's going to be 26 sessions. It's actually more than 24, which would be 6 months. However, within the live coaching calls, everything would be recorded. So anyone who is out of town because of the holidays coming up, that is here. And I had another thought. I had another thing I was going to tell you guys. I think that's it. It'll come to me. I was like, today I've been like having thoughts and I'm like, I forget them. So does all that make sense kind of as the flow? Oh, I remember. So there are 14 different systems. So we'll go through weeks 1 through 14 together. That will come each week, a different module will drop. So you can see that with the current group that's going on right now. You can see everything is scheduled. So it's like November 14th, 21st, 28th, 5th, 12th, and 19th. So that'll all be scheduled. And then all of the bonuses and all the guest speakers would come out on that 15th week. So and then we don't go over these together, like how to do QuickBooks and things like that. That's not something that we go over as a group, but it is something that you would be able to watch on your own. I just don't want to bombard you at the very beginning and be like, hey, here, build a website, do QuickBooks, like all this stuff that just be a lot. It was like, I want to take you through it one thing at a time, make it really easy. Missy, thank you. That was such a good question. Sharon, do you have any questions or I can go to the list?
There was one of the ladies commented on the last call that there was a sheet that you provided to help their clients also track their results. Is that included in all of that as well too? Okay, I just remember her mentioning that, but I think that's really good. I have one of my own, but I'd love to like see what that is and just improve.
Absolutely. And so one of the things that I like to do, actually, this might be cool for you guys to see, is I have my clients in my one-on-one program, I have them track their results, and the same thing for people in the group. So there's a spreadsheet that I have where you can actually see that your confidence in marketing, sales, like all of the things actually grows every single week. Now, the reason why I actually moved it for this round of the mastermind, the reason why I moved it, so here, I call it client delivery. So for my one-on-one clients, this is what it looks like. I just didn't want you to see their name. I was like, so, but just like you guys, each session would be tracking things. And then I have a spreadsheet so you can see that you've actually grown. Now, what happened is I didn't just have, you don't have to be a life coach to do this. It could work for graphic designers or website creators or things like this. I think systems are something that's insanely important for any business and especially as a solopreneur. Because if you think about like every piece of your business, marketing, generating leads, content creation, those are all, if you were in a bigger company, those would all be different jobs held by different people. But as a solopreneur, you have to do all the things. And that's why systems really help. But within the program, I didn't want anyone who wasn't coaching, I didn't want them to feel left out and be like, I don't need to track my client. If you make a website for somebody, you don't need to track their results every week. So that's why I changed it from being an essential. So marketing is an essential system, like how to actually create cohesive marketing and a coherent message throughout your platforms, generate selling, essential for everybody, managing and generating more leads, essential, planning like a CEO, essential. But the delivery I put as 6. So I moved that down. It's still going to be in the program, but you're going to see how you can make these trackers for your clients and these will be your pillars. So whenever we have that welcome one-on-one call, we'll make your pillars and then you'll be able to track their growth as well. Great, great question. But yeah, that is a difference. That is something that moved this round. And the webinars and presentations I also moved because, again, if you are a graphic designer, you don't necessarily need to do a webinar. You could, but you don't need to. Or like a realtor, it's like not, you don't necessarily need to do a presentation. So now it's in the additional systems. Great question.
Thank you.
Of course. Do you have any other questions? If something comes up, feel free to like pause me.
Not at this time. I'm ready to hear other people's questions.
Great, great. Okay, so here are the other people's questions. So a big question that a lot of people have been having is about investing. A lot of people have been wondering, like, okay, I've invested in programs before. I've spent a lot of money on like business coaches, learning and things like that. And are questioning like, am I going to make this back? And the way that I would answer that is every time that I make an investment, for me, I like to, I want to take responsibility for that and be like, all right, it's like if I have invested this amount of money, I'm going to do the work to make that happen. However, we're going to make an offer for you. And literally in the first, if you don't already have an offer, you're going to have a really profitable offer by next week. So within that, you're going to take that offer price and divide it by 5K. And that is long it would take for you to make the return on your investment. How many clients would I need to sign in order to make that happen? And so that's what I like to do every time. Like I've invested over $100,000 in my business in these past 3 years. It's a lot of money, but I go through it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make my return. I'm going to make sure that I make my money back if that's something that's a goal for me. There are also times when I'm like, I'm not doing programs for that specific goal. For instance, I did a program this summer to learn how to utilize media like TV, writing articles, all those kind of things to build my business. And it was more so just for me to understand how to add that to my business. And I didn't go in it being like, okay, I'm going to sign five, or it was like, it'd be like one client from media. I'm like, I'm not going in with this mindset. Like I'm going to sign one client from media. It was more so to be like, okay, as I scale to 7 figures, this is something I kind of want to keep in mind. So for other people, if you're thinking about like, am I going to make this back? Think about why you're making the investment. Is it to make your money back, or is it to learn a skill that's going to help you scale? So, and it was kind of like a lengthy way of me explaining it, but I hope that makes sense. Like, am I going to make the money back? Of course, if you like, let's go for it. Literally, like, I have not had a single client that has not signed a client. So that's a positive. But within that, it's up to you how fast you make it back. Now, within another question that people ask is they were saying that, like, I don't want to spend money before I make money, which I'm like laughing a little bit, but I'm like, I need to read that right. I was like, yes, but that is a genuine concern that, like, oh my gosh, I've spent all this money on programs. I am in the red for my business. I want to make sure that I know what I need to do to make it's like I want to make money before I spend any more money. And here's how I feel about this is if you haven't made the money that you need to, there might be a gap in your learning to understand how to make the money. I think the reason why you haven't made your money back if you've invested in other programs before is I think a lot of us are guilty. I'm like, literally, but I think it's like that effective learning is really, really important. And you need to understand it's like there's a gap in your learning. So you need to understand what that gap is, fill that gap to make the money instead of if you don't invest, you're going to continue to have that gap. Now, I know that a lot of programs that are out there, which are amazing. This is not at all discounting any program. However, like I mentioned, I'm a teacher, like by trade, literally went to school for it. So I think that a lot of programs are consumption and like just um consumption based. So it's like, okay, learn these things, but there's not as much of a focus on application, at least with the coach. So for me, I think that a difference I wanted to make for Six Figure Systems was making sure that you would be getting the content with me. So you get the like education and the application with me. And you'd also get the coaching because I'm also a coach. So it's like a combo of both of the things that I think take people over the edge for their investments. And that makes, I feel like that's why this program's been so effective very quickly recently. I'm like, ever since I've made the program. I say recently because Six Figure Systems has only been around for like a year and a half. But the fact that everyone's getting results, pretty good sign. Um, so the reason why I wanted to address this is like I understand it can be scary to invest, especially if you're not seeing a return. I was an elementary school teacher and I was paying my coach she had me paying 3K a month. I was making 40K a year. I had just spent 18,000 on getting certified and I was making 100 a session for clients. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is terrifying." But then I learned that like, okay, as a business, typically businesses are in what's the red, I think, pretty sure. Yeah, red is not great. It's not profitable. So it's like they're in the red for a longer period of time and then they get to black. Which means that they are making money and they're profitable. So for me, it was kind of like normalizing that like, oh, I need to spend more than I'm making at the beginning and it's going to get better as time goes on. And an analogy like I like to think about as well is like thinking about like restaurants and things like that. If you imagine your business is like an actual brick and mortar, they don't have a building. They don't have like chairs. They don't have tables. They have to spend all that money to actually make their business function. And I want you to think about investing in coaching is like you're buying the chairs and the tables to make your business like work like a well-oiled machine. Right now, it's like you're like, okay, I'm trying to run a business with like an empty room, and this program can give you the things inside that you need to make it work. Are there any questions about that?
That's a really great analogy. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like,
Or
I need to do a
metaphor. I
post
never
about
remember.
that. I was like, tomorrow I'm gonna do 10 reels in one day, just talking about all these things because I think it's just good information. But that's I'll do a reel about that for tomorrow. So love it. But also I want to add if you are at a place where you're financially investing and it would put your well-being in harm's way, this is not the time. I was like, there are plenty of things that I can like, it's like there are things that I could give you to at least get you like up to like a financial well-being standpoint. I'm like, you do not need to do that if it's like your physical harm could happen. Someone messaged me and they were like in a really bad situation. And I was like, that's a lot of, I was like, it's okay. There's going to be more time. But I think the main thing is like fear. It's like people are scared that they might not get the results and get those kind of things. And that is not a great reason as a CEO not to invest in your business, just in general. Like whether it's this program, any other program, I would not recommend making decisions from a place of like fear. You want to get yourself into a place of calm and then make decisions that are going to benefit you, not just for the next 6 months, but for years to come. Okay. So I was going to ask, I had a thought. It's all good. So just a simple question. Is a mastermind a tax deduction? And I think I kind of like touched on this. Yes, absolutely. You want to be utilizing this for your taxes. Now, one of the things that I didn't understand when I first started my business is if I made $10,000 and then you invest 5 in the mastermind, you only get taxed at the 5K tax bracket. AKA, you get a pretty big return on your investment. Like you'll get a tax return. So you want to be using business money and business to build your business, and coaching is a business expense. So it's not like I don't know if you guys have seen Schitt's Creek, and it was like in the TV show, he's like, it's a it's a write-off. It's a write-off. And like the dad's like, what do you mean it's a write-off? It still costs money. So write off a tax deduction, it still costs money, but it puts you in a lower tax bracket. So you typically get money back from the government because, and I've worked in many different countries, and every country that I've worked with, it's a very similar situation to the United States. If you need me to, if you want to message me which country you live in, again, which is so cool. I'm like, so awesome. But every country that I've worked with people in, I've been a tax deduction for them. And that's been really helpful. I invest a ton of money in my business, and each year I get checks back. Like, thank you for starting a business. Thank you for helping the economy. We want you to keep going. There are lots of advantages to having a business that are like just really important because you are helping the economy. You're helping, not only are you helping people grow, but the governments, every government that I have helped people with, mostly the US, but like other governments too, they want people starting businesses because it helps the economy. So that's important. And one of the things, if you need that W-2 for this year's taxes, I can, even though that module will be released later, I can give that to you sooner if you need it for your accountant. Can I still join the mastermind if I can't come live? That is another really important question. So the mastermind, I know it's about to be December. It is holiday season, and I know that you might be traveling with amazing humans. That is exactly why I made the stream. You can submit every system that you make. If you rewatch it at a time that's more convenient for you, you can still submit your system in the stream and ask me any questions that you have. You can also fill out your progress form, so you can still have that as a place for resources. And I will answer, of course, every question on the actual recording. And I will send out the recording every week. So it'll be like you didn't even miss a thing. Okay. Am I able to use 2 separate credit cards? That's a great question. I have utilized business credit cards to build my business only starting this year. I thought that I had to pay with my business with savings and a lot of personal money, which was great when I had to write a check for $26,000 because in January, because I didn't pay taxes soon enough. And yeah, just don't use personal money for your business expenses. Just please learn from me. But if you want to put it on 2 separate business credit cards, I'm totally fine with that. I'm very like, I want this program to work for you. I know that 5K can be a big investment. Most credit cards, I think 5K you can just put on one, but if you need to put it on 2 separate credit cards, I'm totally fine with that. Even if you need to like swap halfway through, if you're like, oh my gosh, I have a client that's going to pay me on the 17th and I know my payment's coming out on the 13th. Can we move my payment to the 18th? I'll be like, yeah, sure. Like, I'm pretty easygoing. I mean, like, please pay for the program. But I'm like, if you need to move stuff around, I want to make this work for you. So 2 separate credit cards, that's fine with me. You just let me know. How will I ensure, this is kind of similar to like the investing, but like how will I make sure that you are getting like individualized attention and make sure it works for you and you and your business? So I was telling somebody on a consult today, I was like, even if you are literally just paying for the modules and never come to a live coaching call, never do the progress tracking, never post anything in the stream, I still stand by that literally everything I teach you, like even if you were to just watch the modules, I think that's well worth 5K. Like it would change, it would be a game changer for literally everyone. And I know people who have invested a ton of money and they're like, where has this been? So I know that this is going to work for you literally if you just come and watch the modules. However, every single week you're going to be submitting that form. So I'm going to track. I'm going to know if you go off the deep end or something happens. First off, you can message like you've got me at any time, but also I'm going to give you at 26 live coaching calls where you're going to be able to ask anything that you need. You're going to get virtual coaching in the stream. You're going to have the progress tracker. Like this is insanely high touch. And you also get one-on-one calls. So there is a welcome one-on-one call where we are going to create your offer. There is a midway one-on-one call to check in with your confidence in each of the pillars. Mine, again, are marketing, generating leads, converting higher sales calls, and planning for growth. Every single week, you're going to be tracking those 4 things. And I will, at midway, I'll be like, okay, how are you feeling about these 4 categories? What do you want to do in the next 3 months to move you forward? Because it meant this is for 6 months, like half of a year is going to be in here, which is like, we are going to do so much in this time. And then there's also an end one-on-one call. So for me, I didn't want it to be like, okay, you do this program. Like a lot of people do continue to do it because it's like the cost is compared to other masterminds, it's a fairly low investment. And they're like, I just really love the community and the accountability, and they just want to continue to do it, which is awesome. Like, I love that, of course. Like, literally, like 70% of the people from the past round renewed this past round. So I know that would be great. However, I also know that you might want to do this program once and then move on with your life. And I totally fine with that too. So for that last call, we make a plan. Either if you're continuing on with the mastermind, we would set goals for the next 6 months, or we would make a plan for like your next 6 months outside of the mastermind. So it's like, how can we make it work for you in your business? Like, I promise it's like we will make this work for you in your business. Oh, this is such a good question. Um, is it okay to join if I am not sure about what to do with different parts of my business? And my answer is absolutely. That's literally like why you're here. If you know everything to do in your business, you should not be in this mastermind. But most people don't. And even if you think you know everything that you need to do for your business, I will say that having this mastermind will still help. Like even people who have been in business for years and have so many people that they're helping, and they've got huge lists, all of them, like multiple 6 figures, moving to 7 figures next year, all of them have been able to benefit from this program. So absolutely, for no matter what stage you're in, whether you're like fresh out of certification or you are like have had your business for quite some time, it's perfect for both of you. The only people I would say, like, I'm not sure if you're asking yourself, is this mastermind for me? I would say this mastermind is not for you if you're just thinking about starting a business. So when I first started this mastermind, there were a couple people that were like, I've kind of thought about having a business. I have no idea what business it will be. I could do writing. I could do this. Like if you got like 15 different ideas for a business, I would say this is not the mastermind for you. If you are selling a product and have a brick and mortar business, I would not recommend this for you. And I've turned people away before. I'm like, if you're trying to make like a gift subscription box, or like one person had a funeral home, which is like so awesome. But I would say that like I would rather them invest in a different um area. However, if you are a virtual business, if you're offering a service, you know what you want to do with said business, this is a great program for you. I would say even like so I would say this program is like perfect if you're a solopreneur. I would say it's also really great if you if you have employees, every system that I've had, I mean, like I only have one employee right now, but because I've made a really solid marketing system, I literally I trained her instantly, and Tess is phenomenal. However, I do think the system I had was like kind of foolproof, and she was able to pick it up while I was on a vacation, and we've had like very minimal problems since, which is cool. So yeah, that's who this mastermind's for, and will help. Next question is what will happen for the 2 hours that we're meeting? Like I think I mentioned, the first 10 minutes you're going to be doing your progress form, 50 minutes of learning and application, questions and customization, and then the second half will be coaching. That's only for the first 14 weeks of the program. So there's going to be a lot of like customization, a lot of questions about that. But then for the second half of the program, after for the next 10 sessions, it's going to be full 2 hours of coaching and brainstorming within the group. And like, what I mean by brainstorming is like, you can be like, hey, I'm doing a webinar. Can you guys look at the slides? And I can look at the slides on our call and we can pull out some key points. You could send me, if you write a post and you want some feedback on it, bring it to the call. It's not necessarily just mindset coaching, which is like it's a lot of mindset coaching. However, it's also going to be a little bit of just feedback and help there. When will the mastermind be finished? It will be finished on 5/28, which is crazy. So again, if you want to like really start the year strong, all of the essentials, the 4 things you need to scale to 6 figures, you will have by January. Like it'll be done, all 4 of them. And then you get to learn more for the next 2 months. And then you'll be able to, I mean, it's really this first quarter. If you want to hit the first quarter of the year strong, which is usually an indicator for the rest of the year, it's a really good thing. Also, the next, if you want to join the next round, I would love to have you, but that will be starting in April. So it'll be after the first quarter. So the first quarter of the year is January, February, March. April is in the second quarter, but like I would love to have you then too. But I just think that if you really want to start the year strong, it's a great program to do. Like I mentioned, how will I make sure I'm getting individualized coaching? Like I said, I like to think about this group as kind of like a hybrid experience because there are 3 one-on-one calls. There's also the progress tracking, and you could always raise your hand for coaching every single week, and there's the stream. So it's like, and it's only me in the program. So I have not hired anybody else to regulate the stream. I actually haven't felt a ton of strain from it, but I realize that like there's a limited number of spots. So I realized that like for me, having 35 one-on-one calls at the beginning, middle, and end of the group, you're going to get a one-on-one call with me when you do this round. But I realized that I only have the capacity for 35 people. Again, I taught in the pandemic to virtual first graders and kindergartners. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but I was able to get them through every subject and get 150 grades per kid. And I was able to do 38 of them on a Zoom call all at once. And I'm like, if I can teach 38 kids in the pandemic in multiple subjects, I know I can help you progress and grow. And the crazy, like my kids actually were some of the best, even though we were virtual, like getting the best which is awesome. So I'm like, you only have pretty much one, in my mind, I'm like, it's one subject, business. I'm like, I know I can help you grow up until 35 people. That's where I'm like, I would feel like I would want to hire somebody. But still, I was like, you are absolutely going to be getting one-on-one attention. That's important. Now, for this round of the mastermind, just a full disclosure, the first round there were 9, the second round there were 7 people in the group, this third round there were 10. A lot can happen by next Tuesday. There are 60 people on my radar that I reached out to. However, I think it's probably going to be around 10. I would say I like 10 to 15. Now, I want you to be prepared. So there could be more, but I don't think even if there are 35, again, I'm going to be meeting with you 3 times within 6 months. Every other month, you're going to get a one-on-one call. And I'm still going to be checking in with every single one of you. The other cool thing is I literally read your form every single week. I've got a spreadsheet. I'll show you guys that too. But the other cool thing within the mastermind, I just want to make sure that the client's name doesn't show. But give me just a second. So within the mastermind, you fill out that form and then I read what you write. Here, I'll show you. Just gonna delete this person's name for a second. It's like, so you can't see their responses, who it is. But every single week, I track all these things for you. So you get a similar chart and you can see every win, how they feel, and anything else you want to tell me. Again, I don't know how much is on here, so I'm just going to stop sharing. But I think that's really important for you guys to know as well. Like, I take your responses for your wins. We all celebrate wins. And I also put your goals at the bottom every week. So I'm literally like, I'm copying and pasting from the form. So I'm reading every single thing. So I know what you're doing. Where did the sheet go? Okay, FAQ. Oh, how do you sign up? That was a good question. So you could pay right now, like literally, like if you wanted to do I'll put it, I was like, it's in the chat. I was like, so if you want to join right now, it would be in there and I'll put it in the comments. However, and it's $850 for installments every 4 weeks, 6 months, every month there'll be a payment. And then you could also do 5K pay in full. Depending on what you want to do, the only difference with pay in full is you would get access to every single module here. So all my one-on-one clients, they get all the modules at once and you just get everything at once. So if you wanted to do that, you're welcome to. Also, if you decide you're like halfway through and you're like, I want the rest of the modules, I want to make a website, I want to do this or that, you can pay the rest of the amount and I'll get you all the other modules. And the 30-minute calls, within that call, if you want to do it, it's going to be a call about like, okay, is this the best decision for your business? What does your business look like? This is what I could do for your business. And then we'll just decide on that call. So like, if the answer is no, that's totally fine. I was like, but I want you to decide from a really clear, clean space, not just from like, I don't want you to make a decision if you don't have all the facts. And so if you have personalized questions that you want help with, book a call. I'm pretty chill. I was like, I'm a pretty easygoing person. I am not scary. So even if you're like, oh my God, I don't know, like book a call. I was like, we're going to know each other. It'll be fun. I think that's it, guys. It's a lot of questions, but I hope that was helpful. Kind of like seeing the more of the back end of the program, making sure that I want you guys to feel safe with your investments, feel excited. Missy and Sharon, do you have any questions? Any lingering last thoughts? Missy, you got a question?
Hello. No, I just wanted to come on live to tell you I'm in, and I'm excited. So, yeah, thank you. I'm excited.
Me too. Also, I was like, Sharon, I don't know if you want to share, but
Yeah, I signed up earlier today as well.
Fun. Hey, Sharon. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
so you guys are gonna be the Mastermind family. I was like, I did a bunch of other consults today, so I can't wait for Tuesday. It's gonna be so fun, guys. Like, you have no idea what's about to happen, but like, oh, I can't wait to see both of y'all's businesses and anyone else who signs up. I cannot wait to see where we are by May. It's gonna rock. Like literally your business is gonna be like unrecognizable. It's gonna be awesome.
I love it. I can't wait. So thank you. And Sharon, I can't wait to meet you.
Can't wait to meet you as well. Thank you, ladies.
Of course, have a wonderful night, everyone, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Sounds great. See ya.
Bye.